Over the years, I've met several accountants and bookkeepers who were nearing the age of retirement and who were admitting to me that they were incapable of truly retiring because they did not have the funds necessary to live out the rest of their lives. Or sometimes in certain cases, they would be able to retire, but they wanted to be able to have a little bit of extra money to be able to travel or to help their children or whatever the case. And I always found it kind of sad when someone's worked all of his or her life building a practice and probably working unbelievable, hard, difficult hours to finally come towards the end of their lives and find themselves incapable of retiring or having the retirement that they want. And even throughout all their lives, to see people who are working really, really hard, and especially in certain cases, I've seen practitioners who were brilliant at their craft, really smart, knowing what they were doing, and yet incapable of affording the finer things in life, where they're always driving around with old cars, never able to afford the nice things in life, taking very few vacations, if at all, and not taking any time off. And to me, that was always extremely, extremely sad. A lot of people will also talk about part of their dream is to be able to help their children, give money to charities. And I think that's all part of a good lifestyle, is to be able to have the freedom to be of service with other people, either with our time or with our money, and being able to have the freedom and be able to afford to do so. And I'm sure there's many of you who are in practice have seen your clients who were in business throughout all their lives to finally come to the end and really have little or nothing to show for all of their efforts throughout. And like I said earlier, that makes me extremely sad. So here's what I'm hoping revenue practice management would bring to you, is that not only would we be able to provide you with safety and courage and the confidence and the support that you need throughout being in practice, but also enjoy being in practice a little bit more. And I've always found that working with a mentor allowed me to relax a little bit more and actually enjoy being in practice a lot more. And I dare say that if I looked at the practitioners that I'm mentoring, I think they're having more fun now than they were prior to hiring revenue practice management. And a lot of it has to do with just having someone that they can call at any time. I think what revenue practice management can provide a practitioner is kind of divided in two categories. One is for the present time. I'd like to think that by hiring revenue practice management, we're going to make your life more enjoyable throughout by providing you with support, answers to your questions, encouragement, someone to fill your tank when you feel discouraged, and just that sense of having someone that you can count on to be in your corner and have your back whenever you feel a little bit alone. Because let's face it, being in charge of a practice is quite lonely at times. And I remember being in practice feeling as if nobody gets me. So it's kind of nice to have someone that you can call who gets it. So it makes the whole part of being in practice over these years far more enjoyable. And that is something of which I'm convinced, is that it makes life far more enjoyable. But part two is what happens after, in the years to come, even after we're done with our contract and you're no longer working with revenue practice management. If we can get you to a point, which is our goal, where you are now able to earn a lot more, work a lot less, have all kinds of freedom, and discover the secrets to having those freedoms, so you can live out the rest of your life and into your retirement. Because the other thing you got to recognize is that at the end of the day, when the time comes for you to sell your practice is going to be worth a heck of a lot more if you can demonstrate that you weren't working terribly hard, that you were enjoying what you were doing, and you were earning a very substantial amount of profits. So that allows, and not only have you accumulated more wealth throughout your career, but you're likely going to get 2, 3, 4, 5 times more for your practice if you were more profitable throughout all these years. So I think that's where it really makes a difference. And I look at the result of the changes that I've lived in being in practice and what I'm able to live because of that. I have to admit, even surprises myself. And I think it's hard for people to fully appreciate how much fun it is in January and February to load the motorcycle into the toy hauler, go south, say to Texas, and drive the motorcycle for an entire month in the dead of winter just before tax season. Boy, what a reward that is. And to be able to afford doing that without fear or concerns about finances, about how your operation is doing, about how your practice is surviving while you're away and really enjoying yourself. And I think too many times as accountants and bookkeepers, we love to be martyrs, to show that we're suffering all the time. Well, not me. I have come to a point now where I much prefer to be able to get away during those winter months and really enjoy life the way I want to enjoy it and be able to do the things that I want. And the other part is not only what I can do for myself, but the freedom to help those around me. And I'm talking about, for example, I've got a son who's currently building a resort. So he just bought himself a 10-acre property and he's doing all kinds of projects with that. And very few people would have the option of doing that because they don't have the support. So it's kind of neat to be able to be part of seeing my son live his dreams and be able to know that part of the reason he's living his dream is because of the success that I've had with my practice. So, and even beyond that is to be able now to do things for your team. So for example, taking the whole entire crew, all 20, some of them, along with their spouses for a retreat down to Cuba. Words cannot express how amazing that is as a feeling to be able to take everybody on a plane, fly all the way to a country like Cuba and spend a whole week on your dime. And to know that you can afford to do so, it is a phenomenal feeling. And those are just some of the things that all make it so worthwhile to make those changes to your practice. And then to be able to really do substantial impact on the charities of your choice. There are so many things out there that we can do by way of philanthropy. And people say, well, money doesn't bring happiness. Well, maybe not, but damn, it sure is nice to be able to take some of that and give it to the people who can really use it and make a difference in the world. So all those things come at a price, but I keep thinking, well, what's the price? Well, it's a matter of making a few small adjustments to your practice, having someone to show you what those changes need to be, and the rewards are outstanding. So something I think that is important for everybody to understand, that money is nothing but a means to an end. And so for me, having been born on a farm where we would build things all the time, part of my dream was to be able to afford a shop and a place where I can actually build things with my own hands and have the tools and the space to do so. So I'm going to bring you to my shop so you can see what we're talking about. So one of the freedoms that I've appreciated in having a successful practice is to do things like build this shop. Keeping in mind we're in Manitoba, so it's really, really cold. It's currently about -30 outside. But to be able to have a shop that's heated where I can basically build whatever I want is really kind of cool. So I was able to afford to have all the tools that I could possibly want to do some woodworking or even working with metal as I see fit. So this is one of the rewards that I think we should all be thriving for, and to be able to do this in my retirement now or even in my leisure time. I don't know if there's a price on that. And boy, does it make working hard and having a better practice so much more rewarding to be able to do this. One of the things I've really enjoyed as well with regards to having a successful practice is to be able to afford to do things for the people that matter in my life, like my wife. She's really into plants, and to now be able to build her greenhouse that's attached to our garage was really kind of cool to be able to do. But here's the best part, is anybody can do it. And I've had people who told me, well, Jean-Guy, you've got you're smart and all of that. Trust me, I am no smarter than anybody else out there. In fact, I struggled most of my years in school, and getting my designation was the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. So I certainly do not have a level or an IQ that's greater than anybody else. I'd probably say I'm almost below average. But what I did have was an ability to recognize that there are people who are smarter than I am. I was able to hold myself accountable. I was okay with learning from other people. And more important than anything else, I was probably a little bit fearless. Fearless of executing change and doing what was required. And it was sheer determination. I had made up my mind many years ago that I was gonna one day live the kind of life that I'm currently living. And that determination was part of the recipe, along with having a mentor and the education and all of that to get me there. So my suggestion to you is don't postpone embarking on this journey that will allow you the freedom to spend more time with your family, more time enjoying the things that you want of life, more time and ability to buy the things that you want in life. Now's the time to get moving and make those changes in your life. And it's just as simple as giving us a call, and we'll be happy to start walking you on your journey to success like you've never known possible.